Everybody, the 49ers just concluded their 8th practice of training camp, and it was a long one, a long practice day for the 49ers, padded practice. So they're going through that cadence of light practice, heavy practice, medium practice, and today on Friday was a heavy practice. The thing that really stands out on the practice field is just where the 49ers are with their wide receivers. And it's really not a great spot for them. However, you're also kind of what also kind of comes shining through is it's really a good thing that they have George Kittle and Brock Purdy and George Kittle. That connection was on full display again on Friday. They teamed up for a touchdown during a red zone drill, and then a few plays later, they hit a deep corner route. But the 49ers wide receiver situation looks, I'm not going to say dire, but Jordan Watkins, the rookie who's had a really good camp, wasn't out there today. No word from the team why he wasn't available. Kyle Shanahan did not speak. Today was a scheduled day where he doesn't speak to the media, but Jordan Watkins wasn't out there. As practices go, Juwan Jennings missed another day of practice. Jacob Cowing missed another day of practice. And of course, Brandon Ayuk continues to be on the PUP list. Really no timetable for his return. And then, of course, there's Demarcus Robinson, who had a good practice on Thursday, caught a couple passes again on Friday. That the kind of looming over him is just, is he going to be available for the 49ers when they start the regular season, with the possibility that he'll be suspended through the league's policy on substances of abuse. Russell Gage, the veteran, continues to make some plays in practice, but a lot of question marks, obviously, about the 49ers wide receiving core. Would they consider going out and getting a veteran that's still out there? I don't know the 49ers are at that point, because they really have to look and see when these guys are expected to be back. How long is Jennings going to miss? When's Cowing coming back? What's the situation with Robinson? What about Ayuk? Ricky Pearsall, he looks good on the practice field. They're really being cautious with him as he returned from the hamstring injury that limited him during the offseason program. But he looks sharp, and he and Brock Purdy seem to be working on a good chemistry there. So Brock Purdy spoke to the media today for his first time since becoming a daddy. It was a week ago that he took a personal day. His wife Jenna gave birth that day. Millie Jolene, a little baby girl, and he was just beaming about the thought of being a father, and now a week into fatherhood. One of the things he said was it's just been a great break for him. When he's home, he's home. He's a family man. It enables him to kind of shut off his football brain a little bit. But when he's in the building here, it's all about football. So let's just kind of take you through some of the stuff that was out there on the practice field. The first thing that kind of caught my eye, the one-on-one pass rush drills. Those are always kind of fun to watch. And I'm really watching Alfred Collins because, it's a very difficult situation the second round pick is in, because he missed the entire offseason program, and he's behind. And there's no question he's behind. In fact, Robert Saleh even said it. He said he's behind the 8-ball. But he's been working hard, meaning he's behind because he didn't take part in the offseason program due to the calf injury. But he said he's working hard. I love the way he's approaching every day. He'll catch up. He's a big body with good feet. Those are things you can't teach. It's just a matter of time before he gets his legs under him. And, during the one-on-one situation, I saw him get beat by Matt Hennessy. Saw him get beat by some of the other offensive linemen, including the rookie Connor Colby. He had several reps, but the last one was the best one, and that was against Nick Zakelj. And so we'll see how he's going to be progressing throughout this camp. But, once the pads came on at 6'5", 332 pounds, it's just really difficult to play that leverage game when you don't have the background of the offseason program. So all eyes on Alfred Collins. the offensive line really had a good day in those one-on-one reps. About the only defensive lineman who won multiple reps was Sebastian Valdez, the defensive tackle from Washington. Now, once practice began, it was the Nick Bosa show once again. Bosa, actually watching him in the one-on-one reps, he got beat pretty soundly, or kind of locked up, stalemate against Trent Williams and also against Colton McKivitz. However, once practice began, Nick Bosa got to Brock Purdy a couple of times against McKivitz. And it's kind of funny when Bosa gets a quote unquote would-be sack, he just kind of runs by and taps Brock Purdy to know, for Purdy to know that Nick Bosa is there. So it's really setting up to be a very good season, I think, for Nick Bosa, taking part in the 49ers offseason program in Santa Clara and now really carrying that over to training camp. What else did I want to hit on with the offensive line? Let's see, defensive line, wide receivers. Let's see here. Alfred Collins. I'd say at this one, I'm going to do kind of a juxtaposition here. Alfred Collins, big guy, needs to play with more leverage. CJ West is a shorter guy who took part in the offseason program, and he's really been showing up in a big way, carrying over his offseason program to the field. And so you kind of see the dichotomy there of two guys, very much difference in size and very much difference in the preparation leading into training camp. So those are things that to kind of keep an eye on. It certainly looks to me like CJ West is ahead of Alfred Collins at this point, but we shall see if Collins is able to turn that thing around and make those improvements like Robert Saleh believes he'll be able to make those improvements as time goes on. Christian McCaffrey has went through practice today. He looked really sharp, a lot of running, a lot of passes from Purdy going to the backs. Christian McCaffrey showed up. Patrick Taylor had a really good day. Going back to Jordan James, talked about Jordan James after practice yesterday, where Kyle Shanahan kind of almost sounded ominous talking about James and the knee situation. But I watched James rehabbing on a side field today, and I thought that it didn't look nearly as dire as it kind of sounded from Shanahan. So I'm going to keep my eyes on Jordan James and his recovery. What else? Did I mention Curtis Robinson activated off the PUP list? He had the ACL tear from practice in September, early season, week 3 or 4 last year. He's now active and ready to practice. On the subject of the linebackers, D. Winters continues to impress. I don't know. It kind of my eyes tell me that he's creating some separation for that starting weak side linebacker spot ahead of Nick Martin. But Nick Martin continues to impress the 49ers coaching staff just with his tenacity, his passion, and how hard he plays. So it looks to me like D. Winters has put together a really good camp and is in position to win that job week 1. Another rookie, Upton Stout. Boy, every time I talk to somebody about Upton Stout, they just light up and talk about how big he plays for a guy his size and how well he's doing. But certainly competition there for the nickelback with Upton Stout and Trey Brown. One other point I wanted to mention is Ben Bartch, in line to compete for the left guard position against Nick Stickel. Bartch, I saw him go off the field in the middle of a series, a move the chains series, and he took his pads off. So I don't know if that means that he aggravated that quad injury or not, but that's something to keep an eye on as the 49ers return to practice on Friday. One last note, certainly not last on my mind, forefront of my mind, Greg Papa announced via KNBR that he is going through treatment for cancer. It's been notable that Greg hasn't been out at practice. A guy who's meant a lot to me, just a true pro, always treated me super well. And so certainly my love and support goes out to Greg Papa as he goes through this very difficult time, but just really kind of cast a pall over the day, learning that Greg is going through a difficult time. So I know I want to, and I'm sure all of you want to as well, send our love, our support, and just we're thinking of Greg, someone who is, has certainly become synonymous with 49ers football. Since he's been the play-by-play man. Nobody does it better than Greg Papa. So shout out to Greg Papa, and wish him well, and we'll definitely be there for him during this difficult time. So thanks so much for watching this video, and that's it for now.